The wait is finally over, and here we are back again with a weekly lowdown on all that's happening in the world of culture. Welcome to Colors of India. Let's begin by taking a quick look at the main stories. We first pay an ode to dance, followed by a musical experiment, and then move on to some culinary treats. April 29th, World Dance Day. That day when dancers from across the genres forget their differences and just celebrate fluid motion. This year on World Dance Day, we were at India Habitat Centre attending one such gala party. Onwards to that. The Plaza Steps at India Habitat Centre acted as the venue for the show organised by Sadhya, and when it finally began, well past its stipulated hour, dancers from 11 different companies came together on stage to celebrate the energy, passion, discipline and the inexhaustible force that defines dance.
The title is the No Boundaries. And the idea is to create one platform where the young companies, young dancers and the eminent gurus come together and celebrate dance.
Odyssey by Ranjana Guhar and group laid importance to the nritya, and the agility required to perform this dance was also highlighted. Sadhya's choreography was about blending seamlessly styles and techniques, and the contemporary group that followed Odyssey did just that. Flowy costumes enhanced the fluidity of the movements.
It was very magical to see Indian classical come through with Western classical, and the fact that all dance is sacred. So I feel that Santosh sir brought everyone together under the same roof to express that this evening, that all dance is sacred.
Bharatanatyam was presented by Sarojya Vaidyanathan's group, but the music and the speed of the movements did not work as well as they should have. The contemporary that followed had the whirling dervishes on the top step, and the dancers made optimum use of the space they had. Grace and poise and stretches defined the ballet dance. While the Kuchipudi piece told the story of naughty Krishna, presented by Jairama Rao and his students.
World Dance Day is once a year, and यहाँ पे जो वर्ल्ड डांस डे का जो हमने मिल के काम किया, we didn't feel we are a senior artist, but this is challenge to perform with young groups, That also not only classical and contemporary and other dance forms, any dance form, everything is, styles are different, but unit, artists should be united.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে
The contemporary that followed was choreographed to the song Ekla Chalo Re. But it was the all-male Kathak group under Rajendra Gangani that got the maximum applause.
Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always laugh and say, remember when we used to play bang bang? I shot you down, bang bang. You hit the ground, bang bang. That awful sound, bang bang.
The dance choreography of Nancy Sinatra's Bang Bang was interesting. But the torch dance that followed stole the show.
You have sort of a mix of contemporary and sort of classical, and which was really cool to see, and it sort of blended well. Normally you have fusions that don't really go well, but this was a really good blend of both of that, and that was really fun to see. And you got to see masters with their students, and that was fun as well.
The evening saw an eclectic mix of traditional, classical and contemporary dance forms, which was brought out by 90 artists from different parts of the globe. World Dance Day indeed. The strong dividing lines between language, styles and techniques completely blurred, and dance, all forms of it, were celebrated and presented that day. In fact, 90 dancers were on stage, and after a show as grand as that, it's only fair that we take a short break right now. Up next is a story that had to be told, followed by some Rabindra Sangeet. Welcome back. One of the many questions that haunt a publisher is whether a book will bring in the revenues or not. Now, Roli Books have come up with a neat plan of bringing in the money but also publishing stories that need to be told. The lawns outside the residence of the ambassador of France to India were set for the evening. With spring slowly fading into harsh summer, the last one of those pleasant evenings were chosen to honor Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan. The book, My Father, Our Fraternity, The Story of Hafiz Ali Khan and My World, written by Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, is an intensely personal memoir about growing up in a musical family. Published by Roli Books, a CD with rare music is complementary with the book.
We do focus on things, as I mentioned earlier, on things that preserve a certain past or our cultural traditions, and music is very integral to it. So about 20 years ago almost, we had issued, at the time when there were cassettes, there was a little booklet which was a biography on each artist with rare recordings of theirs. That was a huge success. And then obviously we've done a lot of music biographies. We've done one on Amjad Ali Khan Saab by his sons. We did one on Pandit Ravi Shankar by Anushka Shankar. And all of these came with their recordings. And I think that's very, very, very important to preserve, but also to make it relevant for the next generation.
Post the official launch of the book in the presence of the ambassador and other dignitaries, composer, musician and writer Vidya Shah was in conversation with Ustad Khan, who, with his stories and anecdotes and musical notes, managed to spark a genuine interest in the book.
There was a need for this book on my father, my guru, because nobody ever wrote anything on him. And he has given his life to the country, to the world of music. So it's like my Guru Dakshina to my father.
Memories of my grandfather, stories of my father and grandfather together, how things have changed. Ayan and I have been very fortunate to receive everything on a platter. We work hard, but there are certain things that you're not worried about, what my father was worried about. And to share those moments, to read those moments, what my father shared with his father is very touching. Because they're very simple things that makes it so beautiful. In today's day and age, the simple things are not looked at. We're looking at bigger things. Not us, but every youngster, all of us. I think so. It's a very touching, it's a very raw book, it's very rustic, it's very real.
The book dwells on subjects like the Guru Shishya Parampara, the manner in which talim or training has to be imparted, friendship between other musicians and the future of Indian music in today's society. The book is a must-read for everybody who is an aspiring musician, and it's not just for people who love the written word, because music is a spiritual journey and the culmination of this takes years and years. And as our musical treat continues, we bring for you some Rabindra Sangeet.
Tagore once said that I get lost in my songs and then I think those are my best work. If all my poetry is forgotten, all my songs will remain with my countrymen. They have a great beauty. I leave them as a legacy. And since then, his songs have redefined our classical music heritage. Rabindra Sangeet, or Songs of Tagore, are written and composed by the Nobel laureate who wrote songs for every season and for every reason, be it romance or solitude, or grief or joy. Celebrating one such reason, the Basanta Ritu, Rag Ranjani, a musical forum, organized an evening of Basanta Jagrato.
टेगोर सॉन्ग का जो है वो एकदम डिफरेंट है, क्यों ना इनका जो भाषा जो है उसी हिसाब से इनका म्यूज़िक है, और इसीलिए आज ये म्यूज़िक कम से कम 150 साल चल रहा है। हाँ, और एक ही जैसा पॉपुलैरिटी था उसी पॉपुलैरिटी से चल रहा है। इसमें कोई बोरिंग ये नहीं है, हर एक अलग अलग ट्यून, अलग अलग रिदम इसमें है, तो इसमें एंजॉय करने का दूसरा एक है।
Even though the season of spring has gone by, its spirit sure was kept alive with Basant songs of Tagore. One of the many famous ones, Ore Bhai Fagun Legeche Bone Bone. The song expresses the scenic beauty when spring blossoms around in every nook and corner.
We want to carry on this Rabindra Sangeet because as and when what we see that the generation who are coming now, they have really forgotten Rabindra Sangeet. So as long as we can keep it up, so we want to keep it up. Basically we want to more of Rabindra Sangeet, we want to put stress on Rabindra Sangeet instead of any other Bengali song. That is what people are forgetting. So let us see if we can revive that through our songs.
As this genre of music drifts towards today's contemporary musicology, we see a sudden change in presentation. From just vocals and Indian instruments, modern-day Rabindra Sangeet gets a twist with the Western guitar and other additions, which gives it a new face.
As far as modernization of Rabindra Sangeet is concerned, I don't see any harm in that. But yes, we have to maintain the sanctity, purity of the song. There is, anything stagnant, it's stale, it becomes stale. So it is always better to, get new things into it, new experimentations are definitely required.
Tagore's craftsmanship in portraying the scenic with all its beauty and grandeur is evident in each of his songs, like in Neel Digante. Singing in the chorus format, which is normally adopted for this genre, Prabhat De-led Rag Ranjani team indeed did justice to his songs by maintaining the style with Tagore's essence intact.
A new take on Rabindra Sangeet with music that was influenced from different worlds to create something sans barriers. Now it's time for me to take another quick break here. See you on the other side in a jiffy. And on the other side, we have for you delicious home-style treats. Welcome back. On Food Trail this week, I plan to take in the finer aspects of food, which I will enjoy after I take in some real art. It is the simple that made the cut this week. Triveni Kala Sangam, the one-stop destination for everyone who wants to learn the fine arts. Dance, music, photography and art take center stage. And if you want to discuss all this over some tea, then the Tea Terrace is just around the corner. While the outdoor seating space is perfect with a view of the open gallery, it is the quaint, compact and air-conditioned indoors that will save you during the summers.
Well, working close by is one part of this whole thing, but the food has been really great over all these years that I have been coming to this place. Some of the dishes are simply great. Their kebabs and all those are kind of reference recipes for people.
The low charpai seating with matching low tables suggests casual dining. The daily menu is always up on the wall, and the food here at Triveni is synonymous with the simple.
Family has been running it for almost 40 years now, and it started as a very small little place with just kebabs and parathas, and basically for tea, just for the artist lot and things like that. And then it became like a proper restaurant because there was no place where just home style food was available. And then over the years it's become hugely popular because it's just basic ghar ka khana. It's like the roti at home that you eat is what you'll get here. And non-oily food, non-masala food. So it's very convenient and it's very easy on the pocket also.
When it was time for me to place my orders, I asked for their specialty, the Shami kebab. The Arabic translation of this word means the Syrian kebab, and in India, this is associated with the Awadh style of cooking, which traces its roots back to the Middle East through the Mughals. This minced meat and chickpea dish is a treat, to say the least.
Some places are known by the food they serve. At the Triveni Tea Terrace, the Shami kebab is the one that is most famous. So I've just tried it here, and I have to say that it is melt in your mouth soft. There's this faint hint of the spices, not too oily, and then you can feel the crunchiness of the green chili as you bite into it. Altogether, it's a fabulous experience, just perfectly spiced and really, really cooked well.
For the main course, I was served two types of parathas, the palak and the aloo paratha, those shallow fried, stuffed golden breads which can be eaten just the way they are, but for my vegetarian viewers, I asked for a dal curry.
Now I do understand that with palak paratha, it is best to have either the achar or the dahi, but I like the masoor dal that they serve here, which is why I've made this really interesting combination of masoor dal and palak paratha. Masoor dal is cooked really well, and it is, in fact, there's very little oil that they've used here, which makes it a very pleasant meal to have. At the end of the day, you don't feel heavy after having a dal and a palak paratha. And, well, the word's right, home style cooking.
After my date with dal, it was time to try out some non-vegetarian gravy, and that's how the plain and simple chicken curry came into the picture.
The chicken curry that they serve here is a no frills attached, simple recipe. It has a very light gravy, and then there's a single piece that comes with it. But what makes it special, of course, is the fact that it is home style cooking. It is really light on the stomach. It doesn't leave you feeling very heavy with the overdose of spices that you would have seen in, say, maybe a Mughlai style of cooking. This is just what you would make at home for a nice, simple, relaxed meal, more of a comfort dish.
During the summers, there is nothing more pleasant than a tall glass of aam panna or lassi. And here at the Triveni Tea Terrace, the toughest decision is choosing between the two.
And of course, after a meal like that, I'd love to end with a lassi, the sweet lassi. During the summers, there is a choice between the lassi, the aam panna, and maybe even the iced tea, but the lassi is what I always order when I'm here. Now let me get back to drinking my sweet lassi. I will see you next week on the same show. Remember to write to us through your Facebook page. Until next week, goodbye and take good care.